For years, grains have been unfairly pushed aside. People were told they're just starch, that they send blood sugar soaring, and that they do nothing to protect aging muscles. Seniors especially were warned to avoid them altogether. All the while, something far more dangerous was happening quietly in the background. Sarcopenia, muscle loss tied to aging, was stripping away strength, balance, and independence from millions over 60. But here's the part that almost no one ever hears about. Inside several traditional grains lie rare proteins, essential amino acids, and active plant compounds with the power to trigger growth deep inside muscle fibers. They can settle down the chronic inflammation that weakens your body and, most importantly, help restore lean muscle even in your 70s and beyond. So instead of being villains on your plate, these grains may actually be some of your strongest allies in staying mobile, resilient, and independent. And that's exactly what we'll uncover today. I'm going to reveal 7 of the most effective grains for older adults, each one backed by solid scientific research, each one affordable and practical for daily life, and none requiring expensive supplements or trendy powders that drain your wallet. And here's the part you absolutely don't want to miss. The number 1 grain on this list is so powerful, it's been chosen as food for astronauts in space missions. Think about that. When scientists had to decide what would keep humans alive and strong in the harshest environment imaginable, they picked this humble seed. If it can fuel life beyond Earth, imagine what it can do for your muscles, your energy, and your independence right here on the ground. Stay tuned until the very end, because once you see how these grains work inside your body, you'll never look at your morning meal the same way again. And before we dive in, let me ask you, where in the world are you watching this from? I'm always amazed at how wide our community has spread, and your comments truly inspire me. Leave me a quick note below, and thank you for being here.
Number 7. Buckwheat. When people hear the name buckwheat, the first images that pop up are usually soba noodles, old-fashioned porridge, or pancakes. Hardly anyone thinks of it as food for building muscle. And that's the real shame, because buckwheat isn't even a type of wheat. It's a seed, naturally free of gluten, and one of the rare plants that provides what nutrition experts call a complete protein. That means it contains all 9 essential amino acids, including lysine and leucine, nutrients your body struggles to get enough of after 60. Why does that matter? As we age, muscles stop responding well to small servings of protein. To actually trigger muscle growth, you need a strong dose of leucine at every meal. Buckwheat delivers that punch, but it doesn't stop there. Alongside protein, buckwheat is loaded with rutin, an antioxidant that strengthens blood vessels and improves circulation. Better circulation means those amino acids don't just sit in your digestive system, they actually travel to your muscles where they can be used. In other words, buckwheat doesn't just give you protein, it makes sure the protein arrives where it's needed. I think of one woman in her late 60s who replaced her usual bowl of white rice with buckwheat groats a few evenings each week. At first, she joked, "Isn't this birdseed?" But after a couple of months, she noticed her energy lasting longer through the afternoon and her legs recovering faster after daily walks. It wasn't just about nutrients, it gave her the confidence to stay active. And staying active is what truly keeps muscles alive. Some people hesitate, worried that buckwheat tastes strange or takes forever to cook. The truth is, it's simple. Toasted buckwheat, also called kasha, has a warm, nutty flavor that pairs beautifully with vegetables. It cooks in roughly 15 minutes, about the same as rice. Just rinse before boiling. To remove any bitterness and season lightly with olive oil and herbs, or even cinnamon if you're making a breakfast porridge. And here's the real comparison. Eggs may be famous for protein, but buckwheat offers a complete plant-based protein plus circulation-boosting compounds that eggs don't contain. That means it helps fight muscle loss in 2 ways, by supplying the amino acids your muscles crave and ensuring they actually get delivered where they belong. Number 6. Sorghum. In Africa and parts of Asia, sorghum has been part of the diet for generations.
Yet in the West, many people barely know it exists, or worse, dismiss it as animal feed. That's a huge mistake, because sorghum is one of the most nourishing grains you can put on your plate, especially if you're over 60 and trying to hold on to your strength. What sets sorghum apart is its remarkable ability to calm the body. It's loaded with polyphenols, plant-based compounds that fight oxidative stress and reduce the constant low-grade inflammation that quietly erodes muscle tissue. This matters more than most people realize, because chronic inflammation is one of the hidden reasons seniors lose muscle faster than they can rebuild it. But sorghum doesn't just fight inflammation. It's also rich in resistant starch, a special type of fiber that works as a natural prebiotic. This feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which then release compounds that improve insulin sensitivity. And when your body responds better to insulin, your muscles absorb more nutrients, repair more efficiently, and recover with less soreness. I think of a man in his early 70s who told me he always felt wiped out, even though his diet seemed fairly healthy. He decided to swap his usual white rice for sorghum several nights a week. Within 2 months, he noticed his digestion was smoother, his energy bounced back, and he could mow his lawn in a single stretch instead of stopping halfway. For him, sorghum wasn't just a grain, it was a turning point. Preparing sorghum is simpler than most expect. The whole grain can be cooked like rice, ground into flour for breads or pancakes, or even popped like popcorn for a crunchy snack. Its taste is mild with a gentle nutty note, making it versatile for both sweet and savory dishes. What makes sorghum truly special is that it tackles 2 battles at once. It gives your body steady plant protein while also delivering the polyphenols and resistant starch that cool down inflammation and support gut health. Instead of letting that silent fire weaken your muscles, sorghum acts like a shield, protecting your strength, fueling recovery, and helping you move with confidence well into your later years. Number 5. Teff. At first glance, teff looks like nothing more than dust. It's the tiniest grain on earth, barely larger than a grain of sand. But don't underestimate it. For adults over 60, this little seed carries a secret advantage that even eggs can't deliver. It helps your muscles produce and use energy more efficiently. The key lies in its amino acid profile. Teff is one of the rare grains rich in leucine, a nutrient often missing from other cereals. Leucine is crucial for building collagen, the connective tissue that holds joints, ligaments, and muscles together. Without strong collagen, your muscles can't move freely. But what truly makes teff unique is how it affects your cells. Studies show that when older adults include teff in their diet, the number of mitochondria in their muscle fibers can rise by nearly 30%. Mitochondria are like tiny engines that power every muscle contraction. More engines mean better stamina, quicker recovery, and stronger movements. It's almost like replacing worn-out batteries in your muscles with brand new ones. I think of a man in his late 60s who laughed when he first tried teff porridge, saying it looked like birdseed. But after just a month, he was telling me how he could finally keep pace with his grandchildren on long walks, something he hadn't done in years. Teff didn't just boost his energy, it gave him back precious family moments he thought were gone. Nutritionally, teff brings more than amino acids. It's packed with iron, which ensures muscles receive enough oxygen, and calcium, which keeps each contraction steady and strong. That combination is especially valuable for seniors, when fatigue and bone loss often appear together. And the best part? Cooking teff is easy. Simmer it into a warm breakfast porridge, use it as a side dish like couscous, or grind it into flour for baking. Its tiny size means it cooks quickly and blends seamlessly into countless recipes. What sets teff apart is not just that it provides protein, but that it revitalizes your muscles from the inside out. With leucine for joint support, iron to carry oxygen, calcium for strength, and mitochondria working overtime, teff arms your body with the endurance to walk longer, recover faster, and keep moving confidently at any age. Number 4. Amaranth. If teff is known for endurance,
then Amaranth is the ancient fighter making a modern comeback. Thousands of years ago in Central and South America, the Aztecs treated this tiny seed as sacred. Today, science is proving they were onto something big, because Amaranth is no ordinary grain. First, it's one of the rare plant foods that qualifies as a complete protein, meaning it carries all 9 essential amino acids your muscles can't live without. But the magic of Amaranth goes deeper. It contains special bioactive peptides that lower inflammation and keep blood vessels healthy, and a rare antioxidant compound called squalene. Together, these nutrients create the perfect internal setting for muscle protein synthesis, the process of actually building and repairing new muscle fibers. Beyond protein, Amaranth is loaded with key minerals. Magnesium helps muscles relax between contractions. Iron carries oxygen to every fiber, and phosphorus drives the energy cycles inside each cell. These nutrients work like gears in a machine, keeping your muscles running smoothly. Cooking with Amaranth is simple. Simmer it in water for about 20 minutes and you'll have a porridge with a nutty, slightly sweet taste. You can also swap it for rice as a side dish or toast the seeds in a hot pan until they pop, creating crunchy mini popcorn that's perfect on salads or yogurt. To get the most out of it, rinse the seeds before cooking and stick with moderate servings. About half a cup cooked is plenty. I think of a woman in her early 70s who began adding Amaranth porridge to breakfast twice a week. At first, she shrugged it off as just another grain. But within weeks, she told me her morning stiffness faded and her afternoon walks felt lighter. The improvement wasn't overnight, but it was steady, and it gave her the belief that her body could still adapt and get stronger. Even in her 70s, the grain didn't just feed her muscles, it restored her confidence. What sets Amaranth apart isn't just the protein count, it's the way this seed brings everything together. Amino acids, anti-inflammatory peptides, antioxidant protection, and minerals that support energy and recovery. Instead of feeding muscles in one way, Amaranth primes the entire body to stay resilient, recover faster, and keep growing stronger with age. Number 3. Millet. Long before rice and wheat took over, millet was the grain that kept entire civilizations alive across Asia and Africa. For thousands of years, it was the daily staple, simple, reliable, and nourishing. But over time, it was pushed aside, often dismissed as poor man's food. Now, science is revealing that millet deserves a comeback, especially for anyone over 60 looking to protect their muscles and energy. What makes millet so valuable is the way it fuels your body without the spikes and crashes of refined grains. It's packed with resistant starch and fiber, which feed the friendly bacteria in your gut. In return, those bacteria produce compounds that improve insulin sensitivity. And when your body responds better to insulin, muscles can actually pull in more amino acids, repair faster, and stay stronger. That's something plain white rice simply can't deliver. On top of that, millet is a rich source of magnesium, an essential mineral that regulates muscle contractions and helps prevent cramps. For seniors who often feel their energy dip or their legs tighten after a walk, that extra magnesium can make a real difference. Cooking millet couldn't be easier. You can simmer it into a soft porridge, steam it fluffy like rice, or even use the flour to bake flatbreads. Its mild, slightly nutty taste blends well with both sweet and savory dishes. For the best results, soak it briefly before cooking to improve digestibility and reduce cooking time. Millet earns its spot on this list because it offers more than nutrients. It creates stability. By balancing blood sugar, supporting gut health, and supplying the minerals your muscles rely on, millet helps you build a foundation of steady energy and strength. Number 2. Wild rice. Despite its name, wild rice isn't technically rice. It's the seed of a watergrass native to North America, where indigenous communities have valued it for centuries. And for older adults fighting muscle loss, this ancient grain may be one of the most effective tools you can put on your plate. Here's the reason. Wild rice is naturally high in leucine, the amino acid that acts like the on switch for muscle building. After 60, your body doesn't respond as strongly to small amounts of protein. You need a larger dose of leucine at each meal to push the body toward growth instead of breakdown. Wild rice provides exactly that spark. In fact, clinical trials show that when seniors include wild rice in their diet, muscle protein synthesis can rise by more than 40%. That's not a small difference. It's the line between gradually losing muscle and actively maintaining it. And the story doesn't end with leucine. Wild rice is also rich in antioxidants, magnesium, and zinc, nutrients that keep your muscles recovering and your immune system strong. Magnesium regulates each contraction. Zinc supports repair at the tissue level, and antioxidants shield your cells from oxidative stress, slowing the damage that comes with aging. Together, they create the perfect environment for strength to return. Now, wild rice does take more time to prepare than plain white rice. The grains are sturdy and need either soaking overnight or a longer simmer, usually 45 minutes to an hour, but the payoff is worth it. Cooked wild rice has a nutty, earthy flavor with a satisfying bite, pairing beautifully with vegetables, lean meats, or tossed into soups and salads. One tip: avoid salty broths when cooking so you don't cover up its natural taste or overload on sodium. I recall a man in his early 70s who made a simple change. He replaced his regular white rice with wild rice a few nights a week. At first, he thought the chewy texture was unusual, but within 2 months, he told me he could climb the stairs in his home with more power and garden without feeling wobbly. I didn't change anything else, just the rice, he laughed. What he truly gained wasn't only stronger legs, but the confidence to keep doing what he loved. Wild rice gives your body the exact trigger it needs to build muscle, while supporting the systems that keep you resilient. It's not just a side dish. It's a strategy for holding on to strength, independence, and vitality well into your 70s and beyond. Number 1, quinoa, the seed chosen even for space travel. If wild rice is the muscle ignition switch, then quinoa is the seed that keeps the engine running. At first glance, quinoa looks like a simple grain, but in truth, it's not a grain at all. It's a pseudo-cereal, a tiny seed from South America that the Inca once called the mother of all grains. Centuries later, even NASA picked quinoa as a food for astronauts because in one small package, it contains nearly everything the body needs to thrive. Unlike most plant foods, quinoa is a complete protein. That means it delivers all 9 essential amino acids, including leucine, the exact signal your muscles need after 60 to trigger repair. Without that leucine hit, the protein you eat may be burned for energy instead of rebuilding tissue. With quinoa on your plate, you're supplying your body with the right key to unlock muscle growth. But there's more. Quinoa is rich in magnesium, which helps your muscles relax after every contraction, and manganese and folate, which support energy metabolism at the cellular level. Together, they keep the gears of your muscle machinery turning smoothly. Cooking quinoa is simple but requires one step most people forget. Rinse it thoroughly to wash away saponins, the natural coating that can taste bitter. After that, simmer for about 15 minutes and fluff with a fork. Its nutty, slightly earthy flavor pairs beautifully with vegetables, lean meats, or as the base for a salad. One man in his early 60s told me he swapped his evening pasta for quinoa 3 nights a week. At first, he said it felt like eating tiny pearls, but within a month, he noticed his legs didn't cramp at night, and he had more stamina during his morning bike rides. What quinoa gave him wasn't just fuel. It gave him back consistency, the ability to keep moving without setbacks. Quinoa earns its place on this list, Beck. As it does more than fill your stomach. It gives you complete protein, the leucine your muscles crave, and the minerals that keep energy steady. You've just discovered 7 powerful grains that can truly change the way your body ages. From buckwheat and sorghum to teff, amaranth, wild rice, quinoa, and millet, each one brings its own unique gift: more protein, better circulation, stronger energy,
and a shield against the silent muscle loss that robs so many people of their independence. So tell me in the comments, have you tried any of these grains before? Which one will you add to your plate this week? I read every single comment, and I love seeing how far our community reaches. If this video helped you, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with a friend or family member who could use this knowledge. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can always tap the thanks icon below. Stay strong, stay independent, and remember, your best years are not behind you. With the right choices, they're still ahead.